Conservation and the big news of the day. The stage is now set, and it's clear that learning institutions won. We have details of this and other stories in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. My name is Serfine Achieng, and our sign language interpreter is Simon Karotha. Now, let's begin straight away with our top story. The government has announced that all learners will report to school on Monday, the 4th of January 2021. Education CS Professor George Magoha, issuing the new dates for the school calendar, also released the examination timetable for Class 8 and Form 4 candidates. The new school calendar will see Grade 4 CBC learners transition to Grade 5 in July 2021, while 4-year-olds joining PP1 will begin classes in July. Now, also says the new dates were arrived at following extensive consultations with education stakeholders. He urged schools to ensure all COVID-19 health safety measures are in place, and at the time schools reopen in January 2021. Of course, we will be giving you details of this and a breakdown on the examination calendar as well for the Form 4 learners and the Class 8 candidates. We are working on that story for you in this comprehensive news bulletin. We will be breaking down that report for you. Now, on to other matters. Environmentalists in Trans Nzoia County are raising concern over wanton destruction of forest cover and wetlands in the region. The group argues that the continued illegal exploitation of water catchment areas such as Mount Elgon has left the region badly exposed to vagaries of weather. Have a look.
Residents of Cherangani and Mount Elgon regions have been urged to safeguard the environment and plant indigenous trees to protect water catchment areas.
Mwito wangu ni kusema serikali ingeweka wananchi katika sehemu zao wapande miti za kienyeji ambazo zinavutia mvua, zinavutia ndege, zinavutia nyani, lakini mazingira yake inapendeza kwa sababu miti za kienyeji haziharibu chochote katika ardhi. Environmentalists
have blamed the brazen destruction of water catchment areas on a casserole of issues, among them poor implementation of environmental policies.
Wangara alipotoka, tunahitaji kina Wangare wengine wakuweko. Maana nani atatetea miti pasipokuwa na mtu mwenye anapenda miti? Hatuwezi kukua tu na kila mtu, lakini kuna watu ambao wanapenda miti.
Meanwhile, a monthly cleanup of Malindi town has resumed after the exercise was put on hold due to COVID-19.
Tumeamua kuwaweka katika hii program ya town cleaning, which is done on a monthly basis. Every month we set a date and clean our town.
It is our responsibility as the police also to be involved in all community activities, especially at this corona era. I'll also like to inform our people that don't wear a mask because you have seen a policeman. Don't wear a mask because you have seen the land cruiser. Wear a mask because corona is real and corona kills.
The multi-sectoral exercise aims to lift the status of Malindi as a world-class tourist destination. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that report. Now back to our top story. The government has announced all learners will report to school on Monday, the 4th of January 2021. Education CS Professor George Magoha, while issuing the new dates for the school calendar, also released the examination timetable for Class 8 and Form 4 candidates. The new school calendar will see Grade 4 CBC learners transition to Grade 5 in July 2021, while 4-year-olds joining PP1 will begin classes in July 2021. Magoha says the new dates were arrived at following extensive consultations with education stakeholders. He urged schools to ensure all COVID-19 health safety measures are in place at the start of the school term in January 2021.
Will reopen fully on the 4th of January 2021. This will apply to PP1 and 2, Grade 1, 2 and 3, Class 5, 6 and 7, and Form 1, 2 and 3 learners. 2. All 4-year-olds will join PP1 in July 2021. Number 3, Pre-primary 1 and 2, grade 1, 2 and 3, class 5, 6 and 7, and from 1, 2 and 3 learners will start their second term on the 4th of January 2021 and end on the 19th of March 2021, together with grade 4 candidates. Together with grade 4 and the examination classes, which are basically class 8 and form 4. Number 4, all learners except class 8 and form 4 candidates will proceed for a 7-week holiday to allow for KCPE and KCSE examination administration and marking. Grade 4 and incoming Form 1 Class 8 graduates learners will stay at home as other learners complete their third term. Number 6, Grade 4 CBC learners will transition to Grade 5 in July 2021. Number 7, international schools will reopen from the 4th of January 2021 for all their learners still at home. We wish to assure the country that the government is determined to ensure a safe reopening and learning of our schools. In doing so, we are drawing important lessons from the partial reopening that has taken place since October. We are confident that we will remain on the right trajectory to finding the winning formula that will ensure our learning institutions are safe for our learners and teachers.
I wish to announce that TSC has negotiated with the teachers' medical provider for teachers to be covered for COVID-19 related diseases or illnesses. A COVID-19 incident reporting tool using the USSD code *202*07# *202*07# has been set up to assist teachers report to the scheme provider any suspected or confirmed COVID cases to enable them receive care and support in the fastest way possible.
Looks like it's time to shake off the dust on the books, a visit to the tailors perhaps for new school uniforms, even as we wish all the parents all the best as they go ahead making plans to get school fees for their children. January 4th is the date that has been set for all other learners to resume classes, but safety of learners is key. It is what is balancing this whole equation. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo, by the way, and we also invite you to be part of this particular broadcast. We are streaming live on KBC Channel 1 and also invite your comments on some of the stories we are bringing your way. Now, moving on, herders in Kajiado County are expressing concern over the emergence of IPOMOEA plant that is posing a threat to the animals. The herders say the crop, which is not fit for human consumption, is posing a threat to animals whose grazing land is fast diminishing. They are now calling on the government to come to their aid.
Plant, a green leafy plant that is posing a threat to herders in Kajiado County. The herders say the crop has occupied 25% of the land, reducing pasture for their livestock. The herders say the number of animals in the region is reducing by 15% annually due to the effects of the plant, as it is not a fit for consumption by either domestic or wild animals owing to its awful smell. They also say no plant can grow next to the plant.
Kuna sehemu za Kajiado ambayo wafugaji tayari washahama. Wamena mvua inanyesha lakini hakuna nyasi, washahama. Serikali ya county ama serikali kuu isaidia watu, itafute namna ya kutafuta naye kama ni watu wa kungoa hii ama waajiri vijana ama wale wasio na kazi waingie ili waweze kungoa hii magugu.
As if that's not enough, the plant is also killing the honey industry. Once this plant flowers, another danger looms as bees collect nectar from the plant, endangering human beings even more. The honey is said to make consumers drowsy after consumption.
Tumeona kwamba watoto wanaenda wakati wanaenda kuvuna hii asali, wanakuja wanakuwa wanatapika, wanahara kwa sababu ya hii mmea.
The livestock do not consume it. When it rains as it has rained now, it is the first one to grow. And it has invaded more land, and every year it is invading more.
According to the Agricultural Sector Development Support Program County Coordinator Halima Nkari, the plant poses a big danger to livestock as the plant is spreading fast in the region. They're now calling on the government to intervene. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Now to Narok County. Narok County Commissioner Evans Achoki is raising concern over the increasing number of uncollected identification cards and birth certificates at the Narok Huduma Center. Achoki says they are now collaborating with chiefs to help in distribution of the documents to residents within their jurisdiction.
Speaking during a tour of Huduma Center, Narok County Commissioner Evans Achoki urged members of the public who had applied for the vital documents to collect them at their designated offices.
If you applied for a birth certificate or an ID card, they are ready for collection. So please come for them, because we do not want to keep those documents. These are individual documents that must be kept by the applicant.
Currently, his office is in collaboration with area chiefs to distribute the documents to the locals. The commissioner is further calling on residents to seek services at the Huduma Center, as it was operational after a few months' closure due to COVID-19. This even as he said that he had initiated talks with the National Transport and Safety Authority to introduce issuance of digital licenses at Huduma Center instead of Narok residents traveling to Nakuru for the documents.
There are some departments that are not here. For example, NTSA, we will pick up with them so that instead of traveling to Nakuru to get the digital license, they will be able now to get the digital licenses here in Narok County.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
All right, and that report by Nancy Okware gives us a chance to take a very short break right here on KBC Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We are coming back with much more.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
How am I supposed to break this news?
There's no easy way to deal with this one.
Anza kufikiria jibu ambalo utampa.
If the man is dying of guilt, then we should help him do just that. It's empty.
First, you tell me where my father is. If I find him, you get the contents of that envelope.
Can I help you? Well, hello there.
Do I know you?
Unajua nini mama? Niko karibu kwenda shule. Na sitaki kuwa na stress kukuhusu.
Kristi, hebu rudi shuleni.
Wewe enda mtuwakilishe sisi wale tulishindwa na masomo vipoa.
When Angela and Christy meet at the university, their bond somehow clicks.
Dad is somewhere up there in the sky on his way to China. I'll never forget when he took us to Singapore. Wow, it was fun.
Followed by a friendship that would defy their parallel backgrounds.
Since umezoea shower, good luck inside there.
How is this door shut?
Kuma bezi nuko mushoishikilie mlango kwa frame.
This new territory presents all manner of fasts as influence, temptation, family histories, and peer pressure set in. The rest of their lives become a story of love, survival,
Please, ma'am. Kubali tu story tumalizane twende home.
Influence, backstabbing, jealousy and revenge.
Nimeambiwa tu kule stage muonekana na minji fulani mkikama hapa mtaani.
You decided to sneak from the hostel and go to Res studio without consulting me or Tiff.
Join us on Tempted the Campus Diaries as we explore this hilarious never seen before drama.
Hebu nilipe pesa zangu wewe.
With a touch to behold. A story of temptation.
Welcome back, and we appreciate you staying with us. Now, let me take you to Nakuru County, where the controversy over the ban on public service vehicles from the Nakuru Central Business District has taken a new twist after Matatu operators vowed to resume operations in the CBD. The operators say they have obtained a court order staying the directive by the Nakuru County government, pending the hearing and determination of the case. It has been weeks of back and forth between the Nakuru County government and Matatu operators over a moratorium on the latter's access to the Central Business District. But the Matatu operators now say they have a reprieve after the court intervened on the matter.
Sisi kama wafanyabiashara ya Matatu tuliweza kupewa oda ya kurudi kazini wetu. Na tunataka aelewe ya kwamba sisi sio wale tulijipatia oda, na yeye ana ruhusa ya kuweza kusema ya kwamba oda yetu ni fake. Yeye sio afanye kazi kotini, na sisi tunaamini ya kwamba ile oda tulimpewa kutoka kotini ni halali na inaturuhusu kufanya kazi. Na kuanzia sasa kufikia jioni tunataka watu wetu wa Matatu wajiandae waweze kurudi kwa kazi yao kuanzia kesho.
The Nakuru County government had banned the operators from the CBD as part of ongoing efforts to decongest the town. The county government has in the meantime questioned the authenticity of the said court order, vowing to keep the ban in place. 10 months into the ban, the operators have decried loss of business and the impact of the ban on small businesses within Nakuru town that depend on the Matatu subsector.
Watu wanataka kurudi kazini. Biashara zinakufa. Watu biashara ndogo ndogo zimeangamia kwa mji huu. Wamama ambao wangeliuza vitu sokoni wakienda wanarudi na vile vitu. Maana wale wanunuzi hawafiki sokoni, na kwa hivyo tunaendelea kusukuma Matatu. Lazima usaidie irudi katika soko na katika town.
Hakuna nchi yoyote nchini hata katika kimataifa ambapo matatu haziko katikati ya mji. Tuangalie katika mji wa Nairobi uko na matatu. Tuangalie Kisumu uko na matatu. Tuangalie Mombasa uko na matatu. Kwani ni shetani gani iko katika Nakuru ambayo hairuhusu matatu katikati ya mji?
Wangapi wanataka matatu zirudi town? Na sisi ndio tulimpe kura. Sisi ndio tulimpe kura. Na vile tulimpe kura, tuheshimu sisi kwa sababu sisi ndio tulimpe kazi.
All right, moving on, the National Nurses Association is calling for dialogue to avert a planned strike by frontline health workers demanding quality PPEs and improved welfare in the wake of the pandemic. The association, through its president, Alfred Ombego, urged the government to engage the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Board, as well as the Kenya Union of Clinical Workers, to end the impasse that could cripple the health sector. He was speaking during the donation of PPE kits worth 3 million shillings to Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital. He called for the provision of quality PPEs to protect frontline health workers who put their lives at risk to care for the sick. Currently, there are 72 COVID-19 patients admitted at the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Because of this high surge of infection amongst health workers, we are seeing statements here and there about labor unrest. we want to pray that it is never easy. It is never the solution to have a labor industrial action in a health care setup. We want to pray that all those issues that have been brought forth by the leadership, my colleagues in the healthcare industry, we can sit on a table and iron them out amicably without disrupting the services to the wananchi. And I'm sure this one can be done.
2 days ago, this facility has received 2,319 COVID-19 patients who have been treated here, and of those, 1,534 have gone home safe. And currently, as we speak, we have 72 patients who are admitted in the facility. We not only care for the general population, but also care for healthcare workers in this country. And as per yesterday, we have seen up to 80 healthcare workers, not only from our facility, but also from other healthcare facilities surrounding us.
The PPE donations that are here, that have come to us, have come at the best time. A time when we need the whole of society to resolve that we will not let our frontline soldiers become patients. We must do everything to support health workers who, despite their own well-founded fears, are stepping directly into COVID-19's path to aid the afflicted and help stop the virus spread.
This truck you see here is worth 3 million shillings of PPE. We are now getting better quality PPEs at a lower cost. Most of the PPE we bring you here today has been produced locally. When we started, I think over 50% of the consignment used to be manufactured abroad. What we have brought you here today, 98%, is manufactured within our borders. Thank you very much. Just look this way.
Now, still on matters COVID-19, parents with their children living with disabilities in Githurai are calling on the government to cushion them from the effects of the pandemic. The parents say they are forced to stay at home to care for the children in fear of contracting the disease and transmitting it to the children who are already battling an underlying condition. They are appealing to the government to allocate them funds for their basic needs.
While the coronavirus pandemic has ravaged the country and disrupted the way Kenyans live their life, little focus has been made on the strain the pandemic has especially caused on children living with disability and more so their caregivers. In Githurai, parents with children with physical disability are decrying the challenges they face in raising their children in the wake of the pandemic. Kezia Wanjiru, whose child battles cerebral palsy, a permanent movement disorder, says most parents fear going to work to avoid getting infected with the disease and transmitting the same to their children.
Kuja kupea wheelchair because those our children's wanahitaji hizo wheelchair, hawezi kaa, hawezi simama, hakuna kitu anaweza fanya. Sasa tuseme umeenda hospitali, lazima ushinde kama umembeba, umechoka. So ukiwa na wheelchair unaweza komboa gari uende nayo kufikisha kwa hospitali, utoe wheelchair yako, umsukume nayo.
Her sentiments were echoed by Zipporah Wanjiru, who said money to buy basic needs, leave alone necessities for their children, has become difficult.
Mimi niko na watoto wawili walemavu. Mmoja ni huyu ako hapo, anaitwa Masi Nyambura, ako bedridden, hawezi fanya chochote, anatumia madawa na ako na catheter ya kutoa mkojo, anawekwa dawa ya kutoa choo, anatumia mipira ya kupewa chakula kwa sababu ako na vidonda vya ulcers zinachoma. Imekuwa changamoto sana kwetu kwa sababu naona kama huyu mtoto huwezi kumbeba kwa mgongo kwa sababu kitu ya kwanza ako na hizo catheter kwa nyuma, ako na catheter kwa tumbo. Hawezi bebeka kifua, iko na maji.
They spoke during a donation of mobility equipment to 35 children with physical challenges. The area MP Simon Kingara urged the government to expedite registration of new persons living with disabilities that stalled 3 years ago to enable them to benefit from government funding.
Usajili wa wale walio na ulemavu ufunguliwe kwa sababu kama miaka 3-4 hivi hiyo data haijaenda juu bado tunapeleka watu na wengine hawajaanza kupata mapato.
He further called for the inclusion and effective participation of all persons with disability in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Caroline Kamal reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
And the government has been challenged to invest more in ICT infrastructure to improve access to online learning owing to the uncertainty created by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during a virtual graduation ceremony of ZETECH University, the institution's Vice Chancellor, Professor Njenga Munene, says technology is playing a key role in ensuring students, especially those in institutions of higher learning, continue and complete their studies, a trend that should be replicated for basic education learners.
1,191 students graduated in various disciplines in a virtual ceremony. The speaker celebrated the role technology is playing in education and the impact of online learning in ensuring students complete their studies and qualify for their graduations.
My desire is that parents will continue to embrace online learning and provide students with the right environment and necessary tools like computers and internet so that they can continue learning.
The university conferred the third cohort of degree students since attaining a letter of interim authority. It also celebrated graduating its first group of government-sponsored students to pursue degree programs at the institution. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Njenga Munene, hailed learners for using the COVID-19 period to develop innovations targeted at addressing global issues.
I call upon the students to leverage on this mode of learning to sharpen their digital skills, and this has become a requirement in all industries. Take advantage of the access of internet, smart devices, and access information online to grow in your education, hobbies, business, and building your soft skills, which are required in the world today.
Munene said the Ministry of Education has the capacity to implement national policies and programs that will help Kenyans access quality and affordable education and engage in academic research with the support of digital training. He called for more efforts towards improving ICT infrastructure, development of digital content, capacity building and provision of smart devices to support institutions of higher learning. Caroline Kamau reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
Next on.
Stay with me, baby. Photocopy love.
Well, I always in put down. Toka kitambo, extra confident, hakuna kitu siwezi handle.
Sitakuwa to become way, no. Whatever you do for the list of my brothers, you do for me, yeah. Whatever you do for the list.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
On the show tonight, tuko sherehe na Itaki Asira, Afrobeat Rave 2020.